Welcome back, early risers. It's Mike here, ready to light a fire under your ass today. You know what we do. We wake up, we grind, and we chase our goals before the sun even thinks about rising. Today, we're diving deep into a topic that holds way too many people back: the fear of failure. Let's face it, we've all been there. That gut wrenching feeling when you think about taking a risk or stepping outside your comfort zone. It's paralyzing, right? But here's the kicker: the fear of failure can either be your worst enemy or your greatest teacher. So today we're flipping the script and learning how to kick that fear right in the teeth. Let's get after it. First off, let's talk about what the fear of failure really is. It's that little voice in your head telling you, what if I screw this up? What if I embarrass myself? What if I'm just not good enough? This fear is designed to protect us, but more often than not, it just holds us back from leveling up. Did you know that studies show 70% of people fear failure to the point that it stops them from trying? It's crazy. Fear can prevent you from seizing opportunities and chasing your dreams. If you've ever hesitated to start a new project, launch a business, or even approach someone you're interested in, yeah, that is the fear of failure at work. And here is the truth: every single champion you admire has faced failure. Michael Jordan got cut from his high school basketball team. Oprah Winfrey was fired from her first job as a TV anchor. Failure is a part of the journey. It's how you learn, how you grow, and how you build resilience. Let me tell you a little story about my own journey. Right at the start of COVID, I started with a new company, $4 billion company, a very large company, and I was selling motors and solenoids, simple devices. I was tasked with putting together a business development plan on how to grow this business in my segment. They had a very specific way they wanted to showcase business development, and when I reviewed that, I didn't think it really portrayed an effective way to go about growing a certain segment. So I flipped the script. I changed the way I wanted to do it, and I put together my own business development plan opposite, or just in a different frame than what they had done in the past. The next day, I was presenting to the GM of the company, and I showed him my plan. I was terrified. I was absolutely terrified to show him because I thought he'd be upset that I didn't follow the plan. He wasn't opposed to it, but he had issues with it. And I remember him saying, we really should stick to how we've done this thing in the past. And I remember my heart was pounding, and I said, no. Personally, if this is my own business development plan about how I want to grow this business, this is what I want to present, and this is how I want to present it. And good on him. He gave me the tools and ability to go at it the way I wanted to go at it. I remember I was absolutely terrified challenging him because he was one of the most important people at the company. But when I took that leap, when I pushed myself over the edge and actually challenged him on it, he respected me more for it. That business development plan went on to be a huge success at the company. It helped grow the business, and it also changed the way they did business development in the future. If I didn't take that risk, none of that growth would have happened. And actually, 3 months later, because of the work I did and the mindset I had, they actually promoted me to the largest segment in North America. I tackled that project, learned from it, and ended up delivering results that exceeded expectations. That experience taught me that fear of failure is often worse than the failure itself. Now let's shift our mindset. Instead of viewing failure as a dead end, let's start seeing it as a stepping stone. Embrace a growth mindset. Understand that every failure is a lesson in disguise. When you change your perspective, you realize that failure is just feedback. It's not the end of the world. It's a crucial part of the journey. Think about it. The most successful people didn't get there by winning every time. They failed, learned, and adapted. Let's take a moment to consider some real life examples. J.K. Rowling, the author of Harry Potter series, which, by the way, I'm an enormous Harry Potter fan. She faced countless rejections before finally getting her first book published. Imagine if she had let that fear of rejection stop her. Today, she's one of the most successful authors in history. Or take Thomas Edison. Let's go old school. He failed over 1,000 times before he successfully invented the light bulb. When asked about his failures, he famously said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." That's the kind of mindset we need to adopt. One that sees every failure as a step closer to success. All right, let's get into some practical tips for overcoming that fear. Tip number 1, acknowledge the fear. The first step to overcoming any fear is recognizing it. Don't ignore it. Acknowledge that it exists and accept that it's part of the process. Write down what scares you about failing. Sometimes just putting it out there makes it feel less daunting. You could even create a fear journal. Jot down your fears, and next to each one, write a counter statement that challenges it. For instance, if you fear not getting a promotion, counter it with, I have the skills and experience to excel. This practice helps shift your mindset from fear to empowerment. Tip number 2, set realistic expectations. Perfection is a myth. Stop expecting to get everything right on the first try. Set realistic goals and understand that it's okay to mess up along the way. Focus on progress, not perfection. A great way to approach this is to break down larger goals into smaller, achievable tasks. Instead of thinking, I need to be a millionaire by next year, think, what can I do today that will get me closer to financial independence? Small wins accumulate and help you build confidence. Tip number 3, take small, calculated risks. Start small. If you're afraid to speak up in a meeting, practice in front of a mirror first. If you want to start a business, maybe begin with a side hustle before going all in. Taking small steps builds confidence and makes facing bigger challenges less intimidating. Consider the idea of a failure budget. Allocate time or resources for potential failure. It could be setting aside a few hours a week to try something new, knowing that it's okay if it doesn't work out. This allows you to experiment without the pressure of perfection. Tip number 4, surround yourself with supportive people. Find your tribe, people who lift you up and encourage you to take risks. Share your fears with them and let them help you push through. When you have a solid support system, facing your fears becomes a team effort. Join communities or groups with similar goals, whether it's in person or online. Being around like-minded individuals who understand the grind can provide motivation and perspective when you're feeling low. Tip 5, reflect on past failures. Take time to reflect on your past failures. What did you learn? How did those experiences shape you? Remember, you survived every setback you faced. You're still here. Use those lessons to fuel your future endeavors. Tip number 6, start with wins and create momentum. Begin each day with a small win. It could be making the bed, knocking out a quick workout, completing a simple task, or for this podcast, waking up before the sun. These small wins create momentum, making it easier to tackle bigger challenges throughout the day. Try to incorporate this into your morning routine. Take a moment to celebrate your small victories, even if it's just in your mind. Acknowledge that these moments set a positive tone for the day and remind you that you can overcome challenges. And don't forget to hit me up on speakpipe.com/beforethesun. Leave me a message with your name, where you're from, and what you're thankful for in your grind. Keep pushing, keep grinding, and as always, get the fuck up. Go.